and welcome back to Monday Night Football.
Dude, if you're not gonna do the slogan, then
What's the slogan?
Dude, welcome to Monday Night Football, where Soccer Town USA comes to your living room.
Okay, you were out last week.
Hey, look, I know I was out last week.
It's like we can never have a full desk. Here we are. Todd's back, but then now
Mine was announced absent.
Chio is not here.
This is unacceptable.
But she will be here in about 15 minutes.
I'm gonna have to pull up her contract, and we're gonna have to probably renegotiate what she's making on this show.
I know. Well, she ain't making nothing.
Well, and then there's
She's
that.
making it in donuts and in pecan waffles. We'll feed her some pecan waffles from Waffle House or something.
Give her something. So last week, busy week, got started with the Soccer City Cup, got that kicked off, and we'll be going over Soccer City Cup schedule. We'll be going over Soccer City Cup standings. But first, let's go ahead and hit the OptiLink scoreboard.
Yes.
And let's get a rundown. Juan, get us started there.
Yeah, so we had boys highlights. So we got Coahulla Creek and Calhoun 0-0 Northwest.
And Juan and I just had a conversation. Tino,
Yeah.
I think Tino's got them boys playing down in Calhoun.
And then we got Northwest tying Rome 0-0, Murray County losing to Coahulla Creek 9-0, Southeast losing to Dalton 3-0. There was a red card in that game. Maybe a fight almost came out of there too.
Maybe.
February 14, we have Fannin County beating Murray County 3-2, and then Northwest beating Coahulla Creek in the Soccer City Cup 3-2. And then on Friday we had North Murray losing to Model 2-1, Dalton Academy losing to Cass 4-1, but Cass is undefeated at 4-1. And they're playing up 3 or 4 divisions for Dalton Academy. Murray County with a 1-1 tie with Adairsville. Southeast finally getting on the winner spot, starting out 0-4. They get up and they beat an undefeated East Side team 3-1. And then Dalton losing 3-1 to Pace.
All right, let's kick it over to the girls' side. Coahulla Creek losing out 2-0 to Dade County. Murray County getting blanked by Creek 5-0, Dalton 0, Alatoona 0. Southeast
and keep in mind, that was number 6 team in the state, Alatoona, that Dalton tied 0-0 right there. The girls
Yep, and we'll talk about that too, because you're right. That's actually a good result there. Southeast 3, blanking Rome 3-0. And then February 14th, Valentine's Day, North Murray falling to Fannin 5-1, Dalton Academy getting blanked by Darlington 10-0. The 15th, Northwest, big winners over Cross County rival, Coahulla Creek. That was 10-1. Dalton Academy, I believe they lost to Tryon 10-0, so flip that score. And then moving on, the 16th, Dalton Academy losing out to Chattooga 5-0. Adairsville 5-1 over Murray County. North Murray getting shut out by Model 8-0. Dalton falling to Pace Academy 1-0. Southeast 4-2 winners over Eastside, and Northwest big winners over Rome 6-2.
Yeah. So anything, we got about a minute before break. Anything that pops out to you right there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we beat around the bush about anything. A little bit of a slow start for everybody this year. Like, when's the last time we come out of the gate and we're like 4 games in and we're talking about we have no undefeateds?
Yeah. I mean, I
don't remember the last time that happened.
Northwest tie, then you got Coahulla Creek losing.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
I mean, you have
technically Northwest is undefeated. They got 2 draws.
And then, I mean, the surprise for me is Dalton girls. They went out and lost Alatoona. They lost a tightly contested game to Pace 1-0. It could have easily been a 1-1 game. And we're going to discuss that more here in a few minutes. But with that, we're getting ready to go to commercial break. And when we come back, Todd, you got a special guest?
Yeah, when we come back, special guest this week will be Dr. Goss from AOSM. He's going to talk to us about foot and ankle injuries and other things to watch out for during this soccer season. Stay tuned.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? Open up a world of possibilities when you sell your home and make those dreams real. At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home, compare cost of living city by city, and learn more about our revolutionary seller's assurance program. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams. At ColdwellBanker.com.
Who's up for some football?
That's not football. This is football.
And Eddie, there's one thing that we all can agree on.
That's it. North Georgia is the home for new and pre-owned vehicles.
And don't forget accessories, parts, service, and collision needs.
Claro que sí se puede. Come see us.
Hey, that's our part.
Why should you choose OptiLink Internet?
I chose OptiLink because of the great local service.
We know computers, and OptiLink knows internet with high-speed symmetrical uploads and downloads.
My customers depend on me for safety and security, and I need fast and dependable internet. That's why I chose OptiLink.
Some people say you can't have fast internet. I say, oh, yes, you can with OptiLink.
Experience the difference. Call today, 706-529-1313.
I'm Waylon. I live in Dalton, and I'm the owner of Elite Lineman Training Institute.
And I'm Mitch Sanford with Biltwell Bank.
When I left Georgia Power to start my own business, I met with Mitch and told him what we were doing.
I told Waylon, you're the kind of business we want to work with.
We have a very high standard for how we work as a company and especially how we treat our clients. After a very candid conversation with Mitch, we knew we were on the same page.
Today, we're working on several businesses, training and real estate.
Because they do the heavy lifting, so I can focus on my business. My bank is built well.
And welcome back to Monday Night Football. We are joined with special guests. I know we've talked about having some interviews this year, and this just kind of continues that theme. Joining us for this segment is Dr. Goss. Dr. Goss is a foot and ankle specialist at AOSM, or Associates in Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. I happen to work with him in my real job. In spite of what you may think, this gig doesn't cover the bills. So, and look who decided to join us for this segment. Chio, thank you for coming in on such short notice.
Thank you. I'm so sorry.
We're going to talk about your contract
I
a
turned
little
into
bit
Juan.
later.
I'm Juan now.
So, Dr. Goss, tell us a little bit about where you're from originally, and just kind of, did you play soccer growing up?
Yes, I'd love to tell you. I'm a long way from home. I grew up in Elmer, New Jersey, which is about 30 minutes from Philadelphia, roughly speaking. I grew up in the era of the '94 World Cup. All those guys were kind of my heroes. I played soccer since I was probably 3 or 4 years old. Baseball was big in our family, but I just gravitated towards soccer, and made basically a lifetime of it at this point.
So you're a Jersey guy, so you're a little familiar with the phrase getting thrown around Soccer Town, USA, because you grew up with those guys like Tony Miola around and
Tab Ramos.
Tab Ramos, yeah.
All them boys, yeah. So it's kind of a coincidence to be in Dalton, Georgia, and it's really kind of cool as well to grow up in that environment. Around '94 is when the World Cup obviously was in the United States, and they sort of formulated MLS, and so that became, what I wanted to do with the rest of my life. I was going to be an MLS soccer player. Obviously, that didn't work out, but
no. But you did play some college ball, right?
I did. I played travel ball growing up, and it wasn't. It was as intense in some ways as it is now. I did a lot of the big cups. The Jefferson Cup was a big one back in the day, and did the whole scouting and recruiting thing. And I played college soccer in Philadelphia. I played all 4 years. One of the best experiences of my life.
Shout out to any particular school?
Yeah, I went to a school called Eastern University. They're Division III school, and just had a great experience. And I see a lot of kids, and a lot of them are kind of Division I or bust. And I probably would have classified myself as that. Because that's what I wanted so badly, and it didn't work out. But I tell you, it was the best experience of my life, and I encourage all my young patients, if you can play a college sport, do it, because it's a great experience, and you'll never regret it. You'll learn a lot about yourself. You learn how to work hard. You learn to become a team player, and so many of those things translate into life. And so, man, I hate when I hear kids say, I didn't get a Division I offer, so I'm not going to do it. It just kind of crushes me, because that's a great experience, man. So,
and we'll go off on a little bit of a recruitment tangent here, and I agree with you. I hear some guys say that. It's like, oh, I'm going to go to this level school or nothing at all. And I know for myself, I had one shot to go back and play a semester of college soccer, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. And Chio, I know you played locally here at Dalton State. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe you can speak to that as well.
Yeah, so I 100% agree with that. I feel that if you were to just join any form of sport to have you learn those team experiences, they can go with you a long way. And I agree with with all that you said.
Yeah, some of those guys are still my best friends. We talk now to this day, and you talk war stories. Remember when we played Misericordia in that cold? All that stuff still.
Oh, yeah.
It means something. And yeah, I didn't. I guess you could say accomplish my goal. I didn't play in the MLS, but I think it really helps me be who I am today and take good care of patients. And I wouldn't trade it for anything, man. I really wouldn't. So to all the young kids out there, I mean, if you got an opportunity, take advantage of it and do it. And it has a huge impact on your life and the people you interact with down the road.
So transition a little bit. So how did you make it from Jersey to Georgia?
Well, the warm weather was one thing. My wife really wanted to be in the South, and so we just started kind of looking at places. And, I do foot and ankle only, and the hospital here was looking for, AOSM was looking for a foot and ankle only person to come fill that need. And I met some of the partners who are great people, and I immediately knew this is where I wanted to be. And so we've been here for about 5 years now. It's been great.
And I guess kind of staying with the soccer theme, do you see similarities? Like, I know you grew up in a soccer hotbed. Like, if you were that close to Jersey and that close to, I forget the name of the town. Was it Kearney, right? Kearney, New Jersey,
yep.
And that close to Philadelphia. You were kind of in a hotbed. Do you see similarities between where you grew up soccer-wise and here?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is probably one of the newer hotbeds, obviously, which is kind of cool to be here, having grown up in that environment when I was younger. For sure. What's kind of cool, my kids are big baseball kids, and none of them play soccer, unfortunately, and that's okay. But every time we go to baseball practice, there's people playing soccer. It's just awesome. I mean, that's the way it was for me. We were just always looking for a game, and you can find that at most of the departments around here, so.
Yeah, like when I was growing up, you didn't see that at all. Like baseball, like you saw football, baseball, basketball, that was it. And like I remember having to hunt for a soccer game or a place to play back during that time. But I mean, times have changed for sure, and it's awesome to see. And Gio, you got a question?
I was just going to ask, it actually related to your wife. How does she like it down here?
They all really, really like it. Being in a small town is sometimes hard, but that's what we wanted. And so we came to this place knowing it was a smaller town, a smaller community, and my kids love it. My family loves it. It's been great. So
she's like the hometown feeling of it?
Yeah, that's exactly right. We both grew up in small towns. I mean, I know Philadelphia sounds big, but I grew up on a dairy farm about 35 minutes from Philadelphia, and so...
We are not going to venture into his other pastime, which I've never met a rodeoing soccer player.
I may have ridden some bulls in my day, but
so there you go. So, hey, we're about to cut to break here, but when we come back, we're going to get a little more serious. We're going to talk about injuries, injury prevention, and when you might want to go see Dr. Goss, and when you might just want to try to treat it at home. So stick around, and we'll see you on the other side of the break.
We provide an excellent service for individuals who've had catastrophic injury cases, people who've had injuries that are going to last them, unfortunately, for the rest of their life. Being there for a person, being there to actually see them get better, that is what this field is all about. That's what we're really striving to do, and that's what we think we provide. You still have to have that empathy for the person so you can tell their story to the jury. At the end of the day, that's where your case is heard.
Has a recent storm damaged the roof of your home? Altman Roofing has been restoring homes since 1984. In Dalton alone, over 2,000 roofs have been replaced by Altman. Altman Roofing will also work with your insurance claim. For a free 15-minute estimate for roofing, siding, or gutters, call 706-529-8136 or visit altmanroofing.com. You can also see their professional work on Facebook.
Thank you.
Thank you, North Georgia. Gracias, North Georgia.
We appreciate you, North Georgia.
I'm C-Mark.
I'm John Moore.
Well, at the Georgia Bulldogs, we're number one.
Thank you, North Georgia, for voting us number one 6 years in a row.
If you're hurt and want the best,
give us a call. We'll do the rest.
And welcome back to Monday Night Football. Chio and I are joined by Dr. David Goss, who is a DJ, who he likes to go by. But Dr. Goss is a physician here in Dalton. He is a foot and ankle specialist. So now we're going to ask some kind of more serious questions. So being a foot and ankle guy and being a soccer guy, what kind of injuries do you see coming into the clinic that are, I don't want to say specific, but more common in soccer players?
Yeah, so it does tend to be more lower extremity injuries, knee down. You do get a little bit of upper extremity, some back things, but it is a lot of lower extremity injuries. A lot of it comes from tackles, guys going hard on tackles or gals. And I see a decent amount of ankle fractures, actually. Sprained ankles, contusions, which is a fancy term for like a bad bone bruise, a bad, basically impact kind of mechanism. And so I see a fair amount of that, guards being worn in different places. You see exposed areas around the shin that get smacked quite a bit. I see a fair amount of that too. So, and that actually can create quite a bit of swelling. And swelling, I think, brings a lot of people in. Because it is so noticeable, and swelling hurts. I tell folks a lot too.
I wanted to add, because this is something that's kind of recent in the studies when it comes to injuries. They say that there could be something related to turf or grass. Can you talk more about that?
That's a good question. I mean, there's a lot of scientific data, and people have looked at it from different angles. I can just tell you from my perspective, it does seem to. The game is faster, obviously, on turf, whether it be football or, soccer, football. And I think when you have the game speed up, I really see a lot of issues with the deceleration. Like, these guys are generating so much speed. Now, when you go to decelerate, that's when a lot of the non-contact stuff happens. And so is it the turf that is causing the injury, or is it just the turf allows them to play so much faster and so much quicker, and now they're having to decelerate in an environment that they're, which I think is really important to train on the surfaces you're playing on. And I know Atlanta United has been really working, best I can tell, they're trying to match the playing surface with the practice surface, and there's probably a lot of reasons for that,
You think shoes could also be
I do think, they've changed a lot over the years. They've become more lower profile, the days of the Copa Mundials are
yeah,
I still have a pair. I still wear those.
Anybody worth their salt at least had one pair of Copas in their life.
That's right, with the old kangaroo leather. But now they're like lower profile. I think there is maybe some more give to the shoes. But yeah, I think it has probably more to do maybe with the speed of the game.
Well, that's an interesting point you make, because as you guys know, we are like all the county schools now have turf. Everybody plays on turf in the county, with the exception of Dalton High. And so that is a point of interest, I think. I'm glad you touched on that. So when you see these guys come in, and if you could just maybe discuss, when do they need to come see you? Is it the side of any swelling? Is it just if there's some tenderness? Obvious if there's like gross deformity, or just if it's pointed if your foot's pointing the wrong direction, you probably need to go to the ER.
That's true.
But if you could just kind of touch on that a bit.
Yeah. So that's always a tough question. I tell people all the time, if I knew what I knew now, I would have played through several injuries, and I probably wouldn't have played through a few others. You know what I mean? But right. I know what I know now, and I didn't know that then. And I don't have a lot of patients' foot and ankles. I don't have theirs, so it's right. that can be somewhat of a hard answer to a question to answer. But if you can't bear weight, certainly that's a good litmus test, so to speak, to get in to be seen. Swelling, bruising, things like that with pain, that's a good reason to be seen. Because I can't tell you how many times we get an x-ray and there is actually a fracture there, and people have been walking on it because they're tough. A lot of people are tough. So if you can't bear weight, for sure, that's something to be able to be seen for. And a lot of swelling doesn't just happen for no reason. Same with bruising. Bruising is another thing that you should probably get it checked out for sure. So,
is there something that they can do to prevent that?
Not necessarily. I think training and working out. I can tell you, when I played, and I sound like an old fogey saying that, but I can tell you the most fit I ever was. I used to think my fitness was associated with like playing and running, right? But between my freshman and sophomore year, I mean, I hit the weight room. I was doing dynamic lifts, cleans, jerks. I mean, just dynamically getting stronger. That was the most fit I've ever been in my life. And that really changed my fitness level too. I could do so much more because my legs were so strong, and I was using less, cardiovascular energy to do things because I was so powerful at that point. So that's one thing I would encourage people to not neglect,
So you're a proponent of getting in the weight room and increasing overall physical strength.
Yeah, I am. And I think the other thing that's really changed, when I was in college, I actually was an exercise science major, and I did a lot of work with the dynamic warm-up. The days of standing around and statically just stretching, I think, should be gone. It's more about warming the muscle belly up so that the muscle belly is warm and can accommodate stretch. If we just bend over and stretch, if you try to do a one bench press max, right, and you stretch really good, you're not going to be able to do the amount of weight you could do if you just went and did it, because you're stretching out the muscle fibers and it loses its ability to contract and fire. So it's better to warm the muscle belly up than it is to elongate it and stretch it. And so I think incorporating things like that can be very helpful from an injury prevention. And I see most clubs and most practices I've seen do a dynamic warm-up, and I think a dynamic warm-up is really important, and that would help prevent some injuries.
I'm doing something right then.
Yeah,
Training.
That's right.
I start off with a dynamic warm-up.
Yeah, it's really helpful. I tell people, if you want to stretch and lengthen your muscle belly, I mean, at the end of the exercise or workout is when you want to do that, because now your muscle belly is nice and warm and you can get more length out of it. But really, to kind of get yourself warmed up and ready to go, it's a dynamic warm-up.
Well, we want to thank Dr. Goss for coming in today. If you have questions, if you have concerns, always err on the side of caution. You can find him at Associates in Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. That's right here in town. No need to get outside of town to go see an expert in his field. This is a foot and ankle specialist here. I can vouch 100% for his work, and he's probably seen some of your teammates as well. So thank you, Dr. Goss, for coming in.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it, Todd. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
And we'll catch you on the other side.
My car looks totally ruined. I don't even know what to do.
Locally owned Dalton Collision Center is the only choice when it comes to all of your auto body and refinish needs. Our experienced staff provides quality work from start to finish, will help with your claim, and even assist with getting your rental car. Everything from A to Z.
So you can focus on life, we can focus on getting you there.
We provide an excellent service for individuals who've had catastrophic injury cases, people who've had injuries that are going to last them, unfortunately, for the rest of their life. Being there for a person, being there to actually see them get better, that is what this field is all about. That's what we're really striving to do, and that's what we think we provide. You still have to have that empathy for the person so you can tell their story to the jury. At the end of the day, that's where your case is heard.
This year, Coldwell Banker Kennard Realty is proudly commemorating our 50th anniversary, and what a journey it has been. For 5 decades, Coldwell Banker Kennard Realty has been the heartbeat of real estate in Northwest Georgia.
We've had the privilege of helping thousands of homeowners with their real estate transactions. Thank you, Dalton and Northwest Georgia.
Whether you're buying, selling, or expanding your business, trust the experience that comes with 50 years of excellence. Coldwell Banker Kennard Realty with offices in Dalton, Calhoun, Cartersville, Ringgold, and Cleveland, Tennessee.
And welcome back to Monday Night Football. I'm back with my friends together.
Finally.
Todd, I didn't get to be with you last time.
That's right. I know. So, yeah, this is the first time that all three of us have occupied the desk here. So, yeah, this is great.
It's going good.
Yeah, it's going good so far. And nice intro back in. Is that the first time you
That
brought
wasn't
the
my
show
first
back?
time, but the first time I was like, I don't remember, but I'm getting better at it.
She's
okay?
getting better at it. You know, she's a rookie still. You know,
She didn't wear green. That's rule number one. You don't wear green, so she did great with that.
She came in all black because, you know, her alma mater lost Friday. So I
she's
guess
sad.
She's
She's in mourning.
The losses.
So on that topic, we're going to talk a little bit with some Soccer City Cup action. It did get started last week, and to kick us off, we had the Northwest girls and Coahulla Creek girls. Northwest ran out on that one. They won 10-1. So that game, obviously at some point it got a little bit out of hand, and I keep trying to tell these teams, like, these goals matter. That automatically puts Northwest at a +9 goal differential. So at the end of it, if they're tied, I mean, somebody's going to have to overcome that. So
Chia, you were at that game, right? A little bit of the Northwest Coahulla Creek game. What was your observations for that game? Anything that stood out for you? Just give us a little bit of insight.
So from what I see, Northwest had a very high line. They were able to manage to be closer to their 50 and basically take over Coahulla's territory. And it looked like they were playing more of a defensive formation on the Coahulla Creek, which I feel that maybe it could have helped them to move up a little bit more. So their back line was very much in the back, was very pushed back.
So Creek was pushed back.
Was very
so
pushed back.
Pretty much parked the bus, as they say.
Tried.
Yes, you can say that, but also too, you can see why they did that. So the fact that Northwest had very strong attacking, they felt probably like, let's just stay here so we can guard here. But I'm not going to say Coahulla Creek didn't have good players. They actually had really good players in the middle.
Just Northwest has too many talented players.
I guess you can say.
Well, I think that's probably where we're at this year. I mean, we knew Creek lost some talent last year, notably significant goal scoring. But at the same time, Northwest was bringing back.
They were young.
All the guns this year.
They were young.
Like, this is the time. Like, this is their time, to be fair. So this, I would say the total number of goals for Northwest for me is a little bit of a shocker. I mean, putting
10.
Putting 10 in, that's a little bit of a shocker.
Especially in a rivalry game.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. That 9 goals, that may be something that carries them over the finish line. I mean, they are the defending Soccer City champions on the girls' side.
And then we had, on the boys' side, if we want to bring up that graphic, we had Northwest boys come back. They were down 2-0. And
let's not say the penalty they missed.
They came back and won 3-2. Which I don't know if the way Coahulla Creek had started out, I thought, it would have been, honestly, I was giving an advantage to Coahulla Creek the way they had started out, the teams that they had played, and just the level of play they had been doing, because Northwest really hasn't played that many games. But it's a rivalry game, as we call it, it's a Clásico Juvenil, the young classic game. And
yeah, and the thing about this game too is it keeps producing like crazy games. It's like, this year you had Northwest come back from 2 down to win 3-2. Last year you had Creek come back from 2 down to tie up 2-2, because that was the game that was like, sometimes a tie is a tie and sometimes a tie is a win. And then the year before that you had more drama. So this game is one of those that just keeps producing like crazy drama.
Unexpected results, for sure.
Unexpected results, crazy drama. So this one was no exception. Northwest takes advantage of it. They go top of the table in Soccer City Cup. Of course, that's the first game. And I think we can go ahead. Do we have the schedule?
We have the schedule, because right now we got a Soccer City Cup playing out this week. On Thursday, we have Southeast going up to Coahulla Creek, as you can see here. So, as we just mentioned, the Northwest Coahulla Creek was played already, but this week on Thursday, February 22nd, you have Coahulla Creek and Southeast at Coahulla Creek. So they're going to the Colts Den, to the
corral.
The corral, as they call it. But then next week, you got Dalton High versus Northwest, and then we have a couple weeks off, and then you have Southeast versus Northwest on March 12th, and then you have Dalton High versus Coahulla Creek on March 12th, and then the last game of the season, April 12th, It does depends what happens with Southeast, and it depends what happens with Dalton. But then, Dalton's 2-time defending champion of this cup so far. So, but I think there's still a lot to play for. I think this game, let's just we're on it. Southeast started out the season 0-4. They finally got a win. The girls are the opposite. They're undefeated. But remember, the girls last year started very undefeated.
Very hot.
Coach Close already mentioned earlier in the coaches show that, hey, I just want to end the season the way we began the season. So last year it was opposite. But anything? What do you got to say, Todd?
Well, I was just going to point out that the game, so there is a game this week, Dalton and Johnson, that's being broadcast by Jason Longshore, who will be joining us next week, the voice of Atlanta United. So Dalton versus Johnson, that's on February 23rd. And then also the Northwest Dalton game next Tuesday will also be broadcast on Soccer Down Here and Jason Longshore will be calling that as well.
So for you all that are not familiar with Jason Longshore, he is the voice of Atlanta United Radio.
92.9 The Game.
And he's also the voice of GHSA state championship games. So he calls pretty much the big games. He is the voice of that. If you heard him last year referencing Soccer Town, referencing stuff, he knows his soccer. He's actually been to the brewery at Dalton Brewery Company about 3 or 4 years ago, did a podcast from Dalton Brewing Company out there. So I've been fortunate enough to see him. And then our seats when we go to the games are actually right below, so you see him with his little trademark hat at every game.
All right, so I'll tell you what, we're going to cut this one a little early because I went over on the last one. And when we come back, we're going to talk a bit of El Clasico.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? Open up a world of possibilities when you sell your home and make those dreams real. At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home, compare cost of living city by city, and learn more about our revolutionary seller's assurance program. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams. At ColdwellBanker.com.
Who's up for some football?
That's not football. This is football.
And Eddie, there's one thing that we all can agree on. That's it. North Georgia is the home for new and pre-owned vehicles. And don't forget accessories, parts, service, and collision needs.
Claro que sí se puede. Come see us.
Hey, that's our part.
Why should you choose OptiLink Internet?
I chose OptiLink because of the great local service.
We know computers, and OptiLink knows internet with high-speed symmetrical uploads and downloads.
My customers depend on me for safety and security, and I need fast and dependable internet. That's why I chose OptiLink.
Some people say you can't have fast internet. I say, oh yes you can with OptiLink.
Experience the difference. Call today, 706-529-1313.
I'm Waylon. I live in Dalton and I'm the owner of Elite Lineman Training Institute.
And I'm Mitch Sanford with Bitwell Bank.
When I left Georgia Power to start my own business, I met with Mitch and told him what we were doing.
I told Waylon, you're the kind of business we want to work with.
We have a very high standard for how we work as a company and especially how we treat our clients. After a very candid conversation with Mitch, we knew we were on the same page.
Today, we're working on several businesses, training and real estate.
Because they do the heavy lifting, so I can focus on my business. My bank is built well.
And welcome back to Monday Night Football. We're going to go back to the scoreboard real quick. And while we're reviewing these scores, Todd, we're also going to discuss some of these games. So we had Coahuila Creek, Calhoun 0-0, which is a great tie for Calhoun. We'll discuss that a little bit.
Maybe at the end of the day, it was a great tie for Creek.
It could be,
We don't know.
Northwest Rome 0-0, Murray County losing 9-0 to Creek. Southeast losing 3-0 to Dalton, which we'll discuss that a little bit. Fannin County losing 3-2 or winning 3-2 versus Murray County, and then Northwest beating Creek 3-2, which we already discussed in the last segment. And then the Friday games, we had North Murray losing Model 2-1, Dalton Academy losing the Cats 4-1, Murray County tying to Daresville, Southeast getting on the win sheet with a 3-1 win, and then Dalton losing to Pace 3-1. Sheila, bring us in the girls.
All right, so February the 12th was Coahuila Creek down 2 against Dade County. On February 13th, you had Murray County lose 5-0 to Coahuila Creek. Dalton 0-0 with Alatuna, which we need to talk about that game.
Yeah.
Southeast 3-0 against Rome. And on February 14th, we had North Murray go down 5-1 against Fannin County. Dalton Academy 10-0 against Darlington. On February 15th, we have Northwest 10-1 to Coahulla Creek. And then Dalton Academy.
It's Tryon was 10, so let's flip the scores.
Oh, okay. So Dalton Academy had 0 and 10 Tryon.
Yes.
As well, on February 16, we have Dalton Academy 0 to 5 to Chattooga. Murray County 1-5 Adairsville. We have North Murray go down 8 against Model. And then Dalton 1-0 against Pace. Southeast went up 4-2 to Eastside, and Northwest 6-2 to Rome.
And really, Todd, I know we're going to discuss El Clasico in a second, but Dalton Academy girls had a tough stretch. They played, if I'm not mistaken, 3 or 4 games last week, which I don't know. That's how you want to draw it up on the. I don't know what Coach Jacobo was thinking.
Yeah, that was
Where's
rough,
the break?
man. That was.
But they had 3 or 4 games.
Throw them in
but
the
it's
deep end.
they're learning. He said that's more than anything. They're using this as a learning tool. The boys, on the other hand, had a couple games. One game got postponed. They're actually playing Murray County today.
Yeah, right now they should have. I mean, this is recorded at 5, so they should have kicked
So
off.
Murray
about 20 minutes
County,
ago.
but like you said, there has not really been. This has been, for us to say, it's been like a mediocre start. Like,
Yeah.
like we're, we haven't really had, except for the Southeast girls. And honestly, I will even go back to the Dalton Catamount, the girls. They played Alatoona, which was number 6 team in the state, and came out with a clean sheet, 0-0.
0-0.
I did text with Coach Almodovar, and he said the girls for Alatoona, when they walked off, it was a loss to them. Like, they were just like defeated. But he told his girls, hey, you can't, the way you play now, we got to do this all over again.
Consistency.
They played Kennesaw Mountain, Alatoona, and then Pace. 3 games in a span of a week, and all very well teams. And the Pace team, they lost 1-0, but easily that game could have been a 1-1. I got there, whole second half, I felt like Pace was more doing the counter, and honestly, the technical ability of the Catamount girls versus was like 2 steps above what Pace was doing. Pace was trying on their height and their length and their speed to try to get behind the band line, and Dalton was building and just doing 1-2
technicals. Yeah, that's good. That's good to work with, to be honest.
And then
I was going to say, Chio, if you had anything to add to the Dalton girls, I know you're close to that.
Yeah.
That team.
So what I would say is it's very impressive to see the level of skill works that Dalton is utilizing, because like I said, individually they go out and they train on their skills. They train with their clubs and whatnot. But I think
some go to Shankly Elite. And
some go to Shankly Elite or even Tiki Taka, whichever
Tiki
one.
Taka, yeah.
And they are able to now come together and put it into a formation, and I feel like you're seeing that. So I feel like they all know that they're all going for the same goal. They're like, we need to represent our team with what we do have and show it. And I think that's what they're doing. Alatoona 0-0, that's impressive.
Yeah, it is. You look at those 3 results against those schools, right? We talked about Kennesaw and Pace, as well as who was the third game?
Kennesaw, Pace, and Alatoona.
Yes. So, I mean, basically, he threw his team in the deep end to get them ready for a regular season.
Well, I know, get them ready for the playoffs. He's pretty much.
Yeah. So here we are, and they're going to be going into the bulk of their season. I think they're going to end up. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see them reel off a row of wins.
Yes.
And plus, it's going to be really spicy around Soccer City Cup time. I can't wait to see that Northwest Dalton clash. I think that one's going to be really nice.
But you want to talk a little bit of El Clasico, right?
Okay, so when's the last time we let El Clasico get to segment number 5 in the show?
It's been a while, but I mean,
It's never. I'll just go ahead and tell you that's never happened.
Not that it lost its luster. You got to think about it. Southeast was coming in this game 0-3.
Right.
They have not been 0-3, and I went back. Going back to like 95, 96, they were never 0-3. So this is the first time they were coming in no wins after 3 games played. So you got to say the morale was down. They end up losing it 3-0. So I don't know if the morale was up. There was a red card in there. There was a couple of yellows. I think got a little chippy, but that's to be expected because it's
right.
I think Brian Delgado, the former Atlanta United player, was the one that got the red card for Southeast, basically trying to take up for a player that he felt was being a little manhandled, and just basically it was a teammate foul to help him.
Well, 3-0's not the worst score line, right? Especially, and I know to the Southeast players, I know for some of you guys this is like uncharted territory, but I think Coach is going to have them playing a lot better as the season goes on. They got that win this week.
They got the win.
So I think things are going to start to change.
They get the win.
A lot of young players, too.
They get the win, but now they got to go play Coahulla, so.
Well, we'll see.
Yes, but with that, we're going to go to commercial break. We'll come back. We're going to have some more recaps of the games that happened this past week.
We provide an excellent service for individuals who've had catastrophic injury cases, people who've had injuries that are going to last them, unfortunately, for the rest of their life. Being there for a person, being there to actually see them get better, that is what this field is all about. That's what we're really striving to do, and that's what we think we provide. You still have to have that empathy for the person so you can tell their story to the jury. At the end of the day, that's where your case is heard.
Has a recent storm damaged the roof of your home? Altman Roofing has been restoring homes since 1984. In Dalton alone, over 2,000 roofs have been replaced by Altman. Altman Roofing will also work with your insurance claim. For a free 15-minute estimate for roofing, siding, or gutters, call 706-529-8136 or visit altmanroofing.com. You can also see their professional work on Facebook.
Thank you.
Thank you, North Georgia.
Gracias, North Georgia.
We appreciate you, North Georgia.
I'm C-Mark. I'm John Moore. Like the Georgia Bulldogs, we're number one.
Thank you, North Georgia, for voting us number one 6 years in a row.
If you're hurt and want the best,
give us a call. We'll do the rest.
Hey, welcome back to Monday Night Football. Just kind of continuing a conversation. I want to touch base. I don't mean to put you two on the spot, but I'm going to do it anyway. Just quick reaction. Soccer City Cup, who you got, boys, won?
I mean, I guess you got to go the two-time defending champ, boys. So, I mean, it's Dalton. Haven't seen Northwest. We'll see. I'll see Creek hopefully on Thursday. But until you take down the champ, I mean, you got to go with the champ.
You're going Ric Flair to be the man. You got to beat the man.
Woo!
Chio, who you got on the girls' side?
Oh my goodness! What if there's two?
No,
just
you
one?
can't.
It has to be
no,
one.
You got to. Only one horse can win.
Look, I'm a city cat. I'm a catamount, but the way things are looking, I will always rep my school.
That's fine. It's okay to pick against your school.
Yeah,
it's okay.
So far,
Roy was a.
Come on.
But from what I see, I think Northwest is doing pretty good.
So she said Northwest.
I have yet to see Southeast. I want to see Southeast.
Okay.
I want to see Southeast. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you got a chance to see him on Thursday.
So there you go. And as being the person that posed the question, I don't have to answer the question. So there you go. Juan's pick.
But
the boys.
But what if there's a but?
But Chio just talked about Northwest, so let's talk about Northwest.
What aspect?
Well, we'll go girls. Let's give the girls some love. They beat Rome 6-2. They, I think they lost to they played an Atlanta team the week before, but they're scoring. They beat. They put a 10 spot on Coahulla Creek.
The Northwest girls are going. Obviously, I think they're going to fight for a region championship without a doubt. I think that's a given. My question for the Northwest girls are, can you take it to the next level? Can you peak at the right time? Like, it's fine to be playing well in the season. Can you peak at the right time going into the postseason? And, it's important to win region because then you get to play at home. You get to play a lower seed. And we've seen what happens when you draw a bad, even as a number 2, you can draw like a powerhouse. So it's important to win region. So for me, step number one, they got to win region and get a good track, and then how deep of a run can you make?
And that region's tough because you got to think about it.
And it's not. I'm not saying
it's like a coin flip because you could either be Heritage
or
Southeast or Northwest. It's one of the two. And then but I think they're gonna be tough. It's just they got the Clark sisters. They got Lions. I mean, they're
who just signed a scholarship to run cross country at Dalton.
Yeah, I mean, so the thing is, they have skills and
they play together a long time.
Yes, so is it bad to say like either what's that saying? It's either all in or bust.
I will add. Remember on the last show, I did say that just because you're good here locally, once you go out there and see the talent out there, the competitiveness, that could actually build you to be a better team. So Dalton, like what they're doing, who knows? They'll probably prove me wrong and prove me wrong. It could be them taking it.
Could. And then going back to the boys, they started out with a couple of ties. They came back from a 2-0 Coahoma Creek. I don't want to say. I mean, I know. I don't want to say Issa's being spread thin, but come on, you can only do so much.
Here's what I want to say about the boys, and I want to preface this with this: I can only look at scores, right? That's it. And what I'll say is, I wonder if Issa's got a little bit of a sleeper up there, right? They're not, in my opinion, they're not sexy on paper. There's not a Nico playing there
bloomer.
that's gonna bang in 30 goals this year. I don't think, right? There might be. But I think maybe there's a little bit of lowered expectation. So I'm wondering if he's got a bit of a sleeper and he could really have something cooking up there.
And then let's go across the Conasauga River. A team that I'm a little bit I feel like is North Murray boys. Like I figured North Murray would. I know they lost a lot, but still they're not in.
They lost the all-time leading goal scorer last year. And man, we've talked about it. There's no substitute for a goal scorer, like at all. Like you got somebody that's guaranteed to score a couple of goals a game. Like you can ride that horse a long way.
But it's still a long season, so hopefully they're able to turn it around. They've started.
Chambers will have them solidified, and the same thing on the girls' side. Coach Chambers, he's gonna get them solid. Already starting to see that turn around a little bit. So, and it was my Murray girls. Now listen. Now, I kind of hyped y'all a little bit at the beginning of the season, and you got some expectation. Madeline Lynch, I'm looking at you like you're captain. It's senior year, so I need you guys to.
They're not playing today. It's just the boys that are playing today,
it's just the boys that are playing today. So, looking for you guys to make a turnaround and right the ship over there.
Then we got the Murray County boys playing Dawn Academy, which it. Probably going to be a big paper. See who's the big. It's going to be a Murray County.
I got Academy. I got Academy winning that one.
But Murray County's got the stud. The All-State selection and the goalie Frederickson. I think is his name.
I just think they're a little too thin in midfield right now, and on the back line we'll see. If Coach is it Brian McBrayer? Yeah. We'll see if he can keep them solid, keep them organized. It's just going to be hard to contain Dalton Academy.
And the sleeper team that's been just going through is Dalton Academy. Yeah, they lost to Cass, but Cass is a 5A school.
Right.
Dalton Academy is a 1A school. So they went up 4 divisions.
So I've argued this. I told Juan, I was like, man, Cass is good. And he's like, oh, no, man, they ain't played nobody. And I'm like.
They played Ringgold, beat them 9-1. They played Pickens County, beat Pickens County 10-0.
Look, you can't pick your opponent. All you can do is just.
They beat Kennesaw Mountain.
9 goals on them.
The tie that they have is versus Northwest.
Oh, you want to chide it? You want to chide on Northwest now?
No. I'm just saying the tie.
I'm just waiting.
But what I'm saying is I think Dalton Academy is the sleeper right now. They're just going through, even though there's been a coaching change.
Right.
They went from the Fighting Ruries to the Fighting Ashers or the Griffins. Well, I don't know. We got to come up with
something else.
But they're still trucking along. So I think, and they have a tough schedule. So I think there's a lot to play for. There's a lot. We're going to, this week in games is light because it's winter break.
I'm on break.
But we will discuss some of those games here in a minute. We're getting ready to go to commercial break. But when we do come back, we're going to discuss the upcoming games, any predictions that we want to put out there, discuss Jason
Todd
Longshore
at the Dominican Republic.
Todd, Dominican Republic. But with that, let's go ahead and go to that commercial break. When we come back, we'll be in our final.
My car looks totally ruined. I don't even know what to do.
Locally owned Dalton Collision Center is the only choice when it comes to all of your auto body and refinish needs. Our experienced staff provides quality work from start to finish, will help with your claim, and even assist with getting your rental car. Everything from A to Z.
So you can focus on life, we can focus on getting you there.
We provide an excellent service for individuals who've had catastrophic injury cases. People who've had injuries that are going to last them, unfortunately, for the rest of their life. Being there for a person, being there to actually see them get better, that is what this field is all about. That's what we're really striving to do, and that's what we think we provide. You still have to have that empathy for the person so you can tell their story to the jury. At the end of the day, that's where your case is heard.
This year, Coldwell Banker Kennard Realty is proudly commemorating our 50th anniversary, and what a journey it has been. For 5 decades, Coldwell Banker Kennard Realty has been the heartbeat of real estate in Northwest Georgia.
We've had the privilege of helping thousands of homeowners with their real estate transactions. Thank you, Dalton and Northwest Georgia.
Whether you're buying, selling, or expanding your business, trust the experience that comes with 50 years of excellence. Coldwell Banker Kennard Realty with offices in Dalton, Calhoun, Cartersville, Ringgold, and Cleveland, Tennessee.
Welcome back to Monday Night Football final segment. We're going to go straight into schedules because we have only a few minutes.
Hey, we got a game going on right now.
Yes.
We got Dalton Academy and Murray County. That's going down right now. I haven't gotten a score update on my phone yet. But aside from that, also starting tomorrow night, Northwest versus former coach Tino Hernandez down at Calhoun. I think that's going to be a great game. I'm going to pick a draw on that one. Then we got Dalton Academy versus Pepperell. Christian Heritage at Heritage. Battle of, see who's got the most heritage, I guess. I don't know. And on the 21st, Dalton at Heritage. Get off my schedule, Heritage. And February 22nd, Southeast.
Soccer City Club.
Yep, Soccer City Cup. That's Southeast at Cahola Creek.
I'm going to go ahead and call Southeast.
I'm sorry, that game is, yes, it's at Creek.
Yeah, it's at Creek. I'm going to call Alma Mater. They come in at 1-4. They're going to come in and try to prove a point, especially with being Cahola Creek.
Northwest East Hall on February 23rd.
Right,
yes, that's playoff style game right there. Dalton Academy, Christian Heritage, Dalton at Johnson. Remember
Big
that,
game right
that
there.
game's going to be on Soccer Down Here and broadcast by Jason Longshore of 92.9 The Game and Atlanta United. And on February 24th, Northwest travels to Rome.
And all right, for next week's girls games will be February 20th. You'll have Dalton Academy versus Pepperell. Did I say that right? Pepperell? Pepper. And then we have Dalton at Rome. On February 21st, we have Northwest versus Calhoun. On February 22nd, we have Southeast versus Cahola Creek. That's exciting. I need to see that.
Soccer City Cup.
February 23rd, we have Dalton Academy versus Christian Heritage and Northwest versus Pope. Okay.
Big game, Northwest versus Pope right there.
Yeah, but then the Dalton versus Rome, because now Rome will have played all three of the top
common opponents.
Northwest, Southeast, and Dalton. So now we'll be able to see, Northwest put 6 on them, Southeast put 3. Now we'll see what Dalton does. The thing is keep them motivated, keep everyone, because they play tough teams now. Don't lower your standard down. You got to keep plugging away.
And I want to plug too, Saturday, 8 a.m. at Edwards Park is the middle school soccer jamboree. That gets started at 8 a.m. this Saturday. So get out there and support your middle schoolers, because those are your future stars.
So, Chill, you got some games this Saturday then?
I do. We're playing kind of the same rivalry as that.
So what's the format for you guys?
For
Saturday.
For Saturday, we have 3 games, but we have 2 teams. We're taking 2 teams, and then the boys, I think they're taking 3 teams, but I think they're doing it by grade levels.
Okay. And there'll be full games?
They'll be, yes. I think they'll be full games.
Okay.
20 or 30 minutes.
So
20, I think 25 minutes, but I'm not sure.
But with that, this episode is coming to an end. We appreciate you watching us, and thank you to Dr. Goss for coming in. But stay tuned for next week's show where we bring on Mr. Jason Longshore. Till next week.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? Open up a world of possibilities when you sell your home and make those dreams real. At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home, compare cost of living city by city, and learn more about our revolutionary seller's assurance program. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams. At ColdwellBanker.com.
Who's up for some football?
That's not football. This is football.
And Eddie, there's one thing that we all can agree on. That's it. North Georgia is the home for new and pre-owned vehicles. And don't forget accessories, parts, service, and collision needs.
Claro que sí se puede. Come see us.
Hey, that's our part.
Why should you choose OptiLink Internet?
I chose OptiLink because of the great local service.
We know computers, and OptiLink knows internet with high-speed symmetrical uploads and downloads.
My customers depend on me for safety and security, and I need fast and dependable internet. That's why I chose OptiLink.
Some people say you can't have fast internet. I say, oh yes you can with OptiLink.
Experience the difference. Call today, 706-529-1313.
I'm Waylon. I live in Dalton, and I'm the owner of Elite Lineman Training Institute.
And I'm Mitch Sanford with Futbol Bank.
When I left Georgia Power to start my own business, I met with Mitch and told him what we were doing.
I told Waylon, you're the kind of business we want to work with.
We have a very high standard for how we work as a company and especially how we treat our clients. After a very candid conversation with Mitch, we knew we were on the same page.
Today, we're working on several businesses, training and real estate.
Because they do the heavy lifting, so I can focus on my business. My bank is built well.
If you could live anywhere, where would it be? And what would it be like? Open up a world of possibilities when you sell your home and make those dreams real. At ColdwellBanker.com, you can get an instant estimate on your home, compare cost of living city by city, and learn more about our revolutionary seller's assurance program. So it really is true. Your dreams don't have to be just dreams. At ColdwellBanker.com.
Who's up for some football?
That's not football. This is football.
And Eddie, there's one thing that we all can agree on. That's it. North Georgia is the home for new and pre-owned vehicles. And don't forget accessories, parts, service, and collision needs.
Claro que sí se puede. Come see us.
Hey, that's our part.
Why should you choose OptiLink Internet?
I chose OptiLink because of the great local service.
We know computers, and OptiLink knows internet with high-speed symmetrical uploads and downloads.
My customers depend on me for safety and security, and I need fast and dependable internet. That's why I chose OptiLink.
Some people say you can't have fast internet. I say, oh yes you can with OptiLink.
Experience the difference. Call today, 706-529-1313.
I'm Waylon. I live in Dalton, and I'm the owner of Elite Lineman Training Institute.
And I'm Mitch Sanford with Futbol Bank.
When I left Georgia Power to start my own business, I met with Mitch and told him what we were doing.
I told Waylon, you're the kind of business we want to work with.
We have a very high standard for how we work as a company and especially how we treat our clients. After a very candid conversation with Mitch, we knew we were on the same page.
Today, we're working on several businesses, training and real estate.
Because they do the heavy lifting, so I can focus on my business. My bank is built well.